Is it a point gained? Is it 2 points dropped? Does the referee's performance really affect how Arsenal played? Of course it does. People, deluded, I'm back again. Big up you lot for tuning in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Big up you lot in whatever nation you're watching from. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, well, I mean, you know what? 7 points from the first 3 games. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. You can't win them all. And again, you know what, I look at this and I don't want to draw too many conclusions and look beyond what we've got. It's only been 3 games. But as we know, we lost the league last year by 2 odd points. Every point matters. And again, did it have to go this way? Did it have to be like this? Now, credit to Brighton, their manager. Again, you peed me off. I was at the game. Big up you lot, people. Sorry for not doing a watch along. You peed me off with your antics. You peed me off with your post-game comments. You're a bit shameless, but I think you're a good gaffer. Brighton are a very good team. They play ball. That being said, people, control the controllables is the first thing I would say. There's been numerous times where referees have done shocking things and we've won the game. Now, trust me, we're going to get onto the ref, innit? He's not safe. Chris Kavanagh, SYM for you, innit? He was born in Manchester. He's from Manchester. I don't know what team he supported. Conspiracy settings. But park the referee for a second, people. Like, get it? Park it over there. And let's focus on the controllables, the football. Arsenal, Brighton, Arsenal, yeah? Could we have won that game? For me, being there, the answer is yes. I think the performance, it's a mixed bag, really. It's a mixed bag. I think we started very well. I think Saka got at that. What's that? That is it Hazelwood or whatever his name is. He was burning that left back, you know, to the point where everybody sitting around me and everyone at home probably thought, yo, he's getting hooked at halftime. I think he started well. I think the team started well. We pressed well. You know, I think Lewis Dunk was in trouble. I think the way Brighton set up, it kind of stifled us kind of playing through the middle. It was quite congested. I think Odegaard kind of struggled. I actually think Thomas Partey, you know, I think off the ball he could have done better, but I actually think he had a very good game. I think generally the majority of the game was us. We started fast. I definitely think, you know, I know Bukayo Saka and Kai Havertz combined it for the goal. Lovely from Saka to nick the ball. Good finish from Kai Havertz, take nothing away. But we had some half chances, man. I think Trossard, I felt sorry for Trossard. I don't think he got enough of the ball on that left-hand side, but he had an effort. Martin Wondergaard is 2 weeks from 2 now, where you should have probably scored. This chance granted was a lot more difficult. Saka should have had at least a couple, in my opinion. I'm not here to blame players, but either way, we should have, dare I say, at least had 2-3 going into half-time. And I think we had like 6 shots on target. I think we dominated the first half. I did think, you know, the second half of the first half, if that makes sense, not that we dropped off, but we are kind of allowed Brighton back into the game. But apart from a little counter attack or occasional scare, like early doors, there was a couple of stray passes from Saka, Havertz and Benjamin White, which is to be expected. Brighton really had nothing. I think as the game went on, Mitoma did very well against Benjamin White. And I think Benjamin White actually got a lot worse as the game went on. I think Timber took a while to grow into the game, but did well. But he did look a bit rusty in certain patches. I'm very disappointed with Saliba and Gabriel, mainly Gabriel for that goal, if I'm honest with you, that we conceded. Big up David Raya, because again, if the goalkeeper is the guy I'm praising week in, week out in these 3 games so far, then the other 10 are not doing well enough. But big up David Raya. You deserved another clean sheet. You was equal to everything. And if I'm honest with you, when we went down to 10 men, obviously, you know, there was still chances where we could have won with 10 men. But David Raya was the only one for me that looked like he's really with it. Forget the saves, the time wasting, just patterning, just looking like he's with it, people. I did think when we went down to 10 men, that's the only time Brighton looked like, respectfully to Brighton, but Brighton fans, be honest, when it was 10 against 12, the referee as well, who, you know, the major incident was Declan Rice, but he made it all about him before. You know, he was incompetent on so many levels, getting even the silly decisions wrong. There was even an incident of the ball came off Gabriel, our centre half, and he gave a goal kick. No complaints from me, really and truly. And I don't understand, you know, Declan Rice has been sent off. Fair enough. If that's the letter of the law, that's the letter of the law. I think common sense needs to be applied. Yes, Declan's got to probably be a bit smarter on a yellow card, but I don't think that should have been a red card. I was actually shocked that he got sent off, if I was honest with you. I thought the Brighton lad did for that kick. I guess he has to be smarter, and you could see Arteta definitely not happy today. I was in the press conference, you know, you get me 1-2 media access for once. You're in me, what for once? DG making 1-2 moves, but he sounded quite peed off. You know, and I'm not happy with the Arsenal press officer, by the way, people. You know, the press conference only lasted about 5 minutes, yeah. You said, put your hand up if you have questions, people. I promise you, like in school, man's doing this. I wanted to ask Arteta a question. It got aired. We go again, innit? But I'm digressing. Brighton only looked in it when it was 10 against 12 or 10 against 11, if I stop being silly. And I'm not going to lie, I do think it's 2 points dropped because we took the lead, but it's a point game because I definitely think everyone at the ground or watching the game, not that Brighton was scaring us, but you did think the tide was turning. Brighton smelt blood, especially with a lot of their changes. And there was a couple of, Gabriel actually made one good tackle towards the end of the half. David Raya was equal to stuff. Benjamin White actually did. There was a lot. But for a team that has improved its whole collective defensive ethos, for a team that's one of the best structured teams in the league and defensively, 10 men or 11, I don't think we was compact enough. I think the goal that we conceded, David Raya did, he made the save. I think he was let down by his centre-halves and everything else. And obviously, I'm going to watch the game again. I think we looked a bit nervous. We looked a bit shaky. We looked a bit unsure. Obviously, as the game went on, there was a lot of changes. We looked disorientated. Odegaard was probably the easiest one to take off in the structure. I think Martinelli added something, but there's nothing really of note. I think Saka defo should have scored in the second half. I think Kai Havertz defo should have scored in the second half. We had chances where we still could have won it regardless, but if you can't win, don't lose. We have to go again. Now, the referees, Arsenal are like the boys and girls who cry wolf. We complain about referees week in, week out, but I've never seen a level of incompetence like that for a while, since probably last week. Now, I'm joking, but it was incompetent, bro. And what I hate is if a manager messes up, there's criticism. A player messes up, there's criticism. Fans, even how they conduct themselves, there's criticism. Managers come out and criticize the refs and be honest, you get fined. Referees, like for instance, let's be honest, at the start of the season, Arsenal versus Brighton, this ain't a high stakes game away from every game being difficult in the Premier League, right? He will end up refereeing the Manchester derby, the North London derby, Liverpool versus United, or some tough relegation battle. The referees need to be checked because very early on, before that major incident with Declan Rice, he was making it about himself. It was Sunday league level officiating, and the referee has had a bearing on this game. This referee ruined what would have been and was a good game for the neutrals. The referee did cost us. That being said, I don't think we can waffle about the referee because was the performance there? If the performance was 100% and the referee done us dirty, then fair enough, which obviously the ref had a bearing in the game. But I genuinely believe we could have defended better for that goal. We could have defended better when we had 10 men. In either half, we had chances that we could and should score. And it begs the question, I hate to be that guy, but this is why you need a striker. Or I know Sterling's going to come in, but I wouldn't describe him as clinical. Of course, this is now overshadowed because we know Mikel Merino is now out of the North London derby. We know Declan Rice is now out. I don't know if we can appeal that or if there's something we can do around that. Either way, these are, people getting injured, people, getting suspended. This is part and parcel of life, really. So Jorginho and Partey are going to have to do the business. Mikel Arteta and Eddie, you betted on this. This is the squad. Now it's time to use the squad. Life is coming at Arsenal Football Club very quickly, man. We had the whole Raheem Sterling and Neto and all that kind of stuff prior to the game and actually yesterday, and now we've dropped 2 points or gained a point. So in life, it could be better, it could be worse. Shout out to João Pedro. I should have put him in my FPL team. It's 2-2 or 2-3 or something like that for him so far. So yeah, it is a bit disappointing because it does feel like the ref overshadowed it and the ref kind of robbed us. But I do think we robbed ourselves. I think you need to control the controllables, one, and I think you need to kill games before they kill you. And another day we could have been clinical. That being said, shout out to Kai Havertz. You did your thing. Saka got an assist. I did think Saka could have been better today. I think the whole front three could have done a lot more. I think the midfield was all right from what I saw from Declan initially. I think Odegaard could have put more of an influence in the game, but I think he was doing okay. I think Partey was quite good, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, man, like ultimately, we know we can do better. We have to do better. You can't win them all. It's poor, really. Now, it is what it is. 7 points from 3 games. We just have to look forward to Spurs and Manchester City. And I think we've got a Champions League tie in between. So hopefully Mikel Merino could, in the best case scenario, his arm, who you would have seen him at the game in a sling, it heals sooner rather than later. Hopefully, the ref comes out and says, you know what, I had some incompetence, or there's some grounds of an appeal for Declan Rice. I don't think there is, because I technically think it was a second yellow, so I'm not too sure. And many people will say, can't we say, what, he didn't send off João Pedro? They will literally just say the letter of the law means Declan Rice has to come off. We apologize for the lack of consistency with João Pedro. So yeah, man. It is what it is. As I said, Mikel Arteta, he looked very frustrated when Declan Rice did that. He looked very frustrated with how he defended with 10 men. He sounded very frustrated in the press conference as well at the referee, really and truly. We have to just keep it moving, man. So, yeah, man, it is what it is, people. Let me know your thoughts on this game, how it went, what we could have done. I think it highlights that we haven't really got a strong enough central midfield. I think we still need a clinical striker and a winger. Again, there's no relevance to that, at least until January, because we cannot act in the market. And I think Gabriel and Saliba and actually Benjamin White, they'd all want to do better. I think Timber has shown he's not 100% there yet. Big up Calafiori because the pronunciation, please. I think in his cameo, he did very well. I knew we were going for it when we brought on Zinchenko, really. I think all the defensive options, bar Kieran Tierney, who's injured, Tomiyasu is injured, and Kivior, who was on the bench, actually got some minutes. So it is what it is in that regards, man. We're just going to have to get on with it. But as I said, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.